Hello and good morning. My name is Jess Goldoni and I'm here with Trey Forrester. Trey, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I recently started a company called Forrester Mobility. I provide assisted stretching, myofascial release, and lifestyle coaching. In my coaching, I cover the variables associated with stress, sleep, digestion, detoxification system health, and cellular metabolism. And in the work that I do with my stretching clients, I address neuromuscular tension, postural problems, and breathing mechanics. And so, yeah, I mean, the primary reason why I do what I do, why I'm in the field that I'm in, is because in our society and in our world, in the modern era, chronic illness, some degree of physiological or psychological illness is the norm and not the exception. And I believe that the chief variable in all outcomes in your life is your physiological health, and that the causative variables that give rise to physiological health or illness all fall entirely within the domain of your personal responsibility and agency. And so the work that I do is in helping people to recognize those variables and to ingrain the necessary lifestyle changes and habits necessary in order to accomplish that.
That's a lot. Congratulations. That's fantastic. So if I thought I might need your services, what would you tell me? What do we do? How do I utilize your company?
So we could go one of two ways. We could do the stretching or the lifestyle coaching. In the case that we go with the stretching, we would focus primarily on nervous system regulation and the neuromuscular system. Included within those sessions, will be breathing exercises, somatic awareness, kind of, blending a little bit of guided, meditation, not going too deep into that, but breathing is a big part of it. And then for the initial phase, I would look at your musculoskeletal system. So I would assess 26 of the main muscles associated with posture and mobility, and we would determine which ones have restricted mobility, and that would be the focus. And in those sessions, I would manually stretch your muscles to mobilize that tissue and to facilitate changes in the adaptive length of those tissues to address posture.
Okay. What is the most common issue that you seem to encounter?
In terms of the muscular system, I would say tight hip flexors, hamstrings, low back pain, and forward head posture. And overall, I would say that chronic physiological stress and a tendency to be more fight or flight, kind of go, 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 that is something that I see very commonly. I also see that, just general systemic tightness for that very reason.
Very nice. So tell me about a success story.
So the success story that comes to mind is, so I had a client, he was an elderly man. He struggled with restricted mobility, and lethargy was his main concern. He just didn't have the energy that he wanted to have. And so he was actually a lifestyle coaching client, and we did a little bit of personal training and strength training in addition to that. We made a few changes in nutrition, meal timing, and changing the ratio of the protein, the fats to carbohydrates that he was consuming. And we also did more functional exercises as opposed to, just pure strength training or cardio. And this isn't the most exaggerated or profound before and after story, but it was one that stood out to me the most because after a few months of working with me, he seemed so much more alive, and he told me that he just has energy now. Like he wakes up with energy. He has more life to him that he has throughout the day. He can spend more time in the garden. He can, bend over. His cells are capable of recovering now. And that was probably one of my favorites.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're really making an impact in lives.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. It's really distinct moments like that have served as the real milestones for me and my development, and just knowing the impact that I'm having and giving me the motivation to move forward.
So what made you go on this entrepreneurship journey?
It started out with my own health problems. I learned so many things through continual, repeated failures with my own energy levels, physiological health. I used to be obese, so weight loss was my first thing. I lost weight, gained it back, went on yo-yo diets, fad diets, and I've been through that cycle. So I've lost weight and gained it back so many times, and so I've learned what works, and I have been able to identify the massive problems in the fitness industry, the fitness, nutrition, alternative wellness industry, and I see that there is a lot of opportunity. It's often thought that fitness is a saturated market. I see that it is not saturated, it is actually very diluted.
Right.
There's not much quality, not much truth, not much authentic information and protocols that work sustainably. So I wanted to do something meaningful.
Something
I
different.
always wanted to start a business. The idea of having the ability to set my own schedule, all of that, pretty much every facet of it was appealing to me. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. This has been very interesting, and I feel like I talked to you for a while. I noticed I'm fixing my posture as I'm talking to you, making sure it's doing well. But if there was one piece of advice that you could give one person to help their health right now, while we close out,
I would say that because there are varying degrees of physiological stress that you can be under. So, subjectively, it can feel like the end of the world. It can feel like, it takes so much effort just to get out of bed. It's possible to be in these states of depression, but no matter how fixed, no matter how big and insurmountable the barriers seem, through the mechanisms of neuroplasticity, your life and the fabric of your being is fundamentally malleable and fundamentally workable. So
it can get better.
It can get better, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Trey. This was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.